Good morning. Good morning. It is Saturday, January 4th. And I wonder if you can see me here. There you are. Good morning. January 4th, Saturday, 2025. Man, oh man, 2025 snuck up, didn't it? Here we are. I wanted to play the puzzles with you, and we'll start with connections. You can see my handy indicator there, what we're going to do when. All right, connections looks like this today. Check, clock, crumple, cross, hook, tick, buckle, ant, ball, strike, melting, wad, snap, scrunch, branch, and clip. Well, I saw ball and strike. I saw, let's see, what else did I see? A crumple, scrunch, wad, ball. Something you might do to a piece of paper. Crush into a compact shape. There you go. All right. Let's see. Hook. Ant. Where does ant fit in? Clock. Snap. Clip. I see an ant and a tick. Neither of which I enjoy. Ticks are worse than ants, though. To buckle, to snap, to hook, and to clip. Different ways of securing garments. Fasteners, sure. Maybe it's a blank, like there's another word that they all relate to, like croissant. Ticket, tick, to tick a box, to check a box, to strike a box. Cross off. Okay, mark is completed. Yeah, okay, we're doing fine today. Melting, clock, branch, and ant. How are these related to each other? It is the purple category, so it's the most tricky. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Really? Depicted in Salvador Dali's The Persistence of Memory. There is an ant, there is a branch, there's a melting clock. If everything's melting, the famous clock there. Wow. Okay, that's tricky. That's really tricky. Oshin, good morning. Good morning. We are playing the connections, and we'll move on to some other fun puzzles in a minute. All right, so we got it in a little different order. We got it yellow category first. I saw crush into a compact shape. You can ball something up or crumple it up or scrunch or wad. Fasteners, right? A buckle, a clip, a hook, and a snap are different fasteners. To mark something as completed, you might check it off, cross it, strike it off, or tick it off. Depicted in Dali's The Persistence of Memory, famous painting by Salvador Dali. Ant, a branch, a clock, and melting. Just everything is melting. That's great. Awesome. And then let's do good old mini crossword. There we go. Awesome. A baby polar bear is a... Oh, I'm clicking the wrong button here. Over here is a cub. Great. It's so funny. Sometimes I click the wrong button without meaning to. Arctic blank, big-eared critters in winter white coats. Is that just a bear? It says critters with an S, which makes me think it's an S in the puzzle. I'm just a little confused because most of the time there's not, they don't put one of the answers in the question. So maybe that's part of the theme. We're going to keep coming back to this. I don't know. Material for Frosty's pipe. That sounds like a corn cob. Does that fit there? Corn cob. Okay, it does fit. I'm freezing. Maybe burr. So do you see how they put FR, freezing? That makes it sound like it's not a word. It's more like, you know, an onomatopoeia or something. It's a sound. Okay, poem of high praise. Might be an ode. Frosty noses. Oh, so maybe this is not correct. Maybe this is foxes? Hold on. Let's not just guess at it. Let's see what it is, because I think this one fits into this. S-N-O-W-M-A-N. That does fit. S-N-O-W-M-A-N. Frosty, for example. And then this one is related to it. It says noses for many of 10 across, but not Frosties. That is a carrot. Carrots. Okay, that helps. So we don't know necessarily number 4 across, but it does have an A in it. We'll get back to it later. Let's see. Pig's digs. The pig might like a sty. If it's singular, it's a Y, and then if it's a plural, it's an IE. Is that correct? I guess we're going to find out. Someone who might give bro hugs. Well, sis might give bro a hug. Okay, let's see if we can get through some of these down ones. Caterer's coffee dispenser is an urn. Not my favorite word. An urn sounds like a funeral urn. Turns into. Oh, becomes. Don't confuse them with antlers. That's a horn. Oh, and then Arctic hares. Big-eared critters. So this would just be an S. Crush, Sprite, Squirt, and Starry. In a connections category are sodas. Sodas. Awesome. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Cool. Yeah, oh, thank you, Geese. Yeah, 10 across is snowman. We got that one. It sure is it's so fun doing the puzzles. It reminds me of times that I would sit with my grandpa and do puzzles just for hours. He would take the press of Atlantic City, and we would just sit and do the puzzles together. What a great fun memory that we had together, you know. And we'd do the crossword, we'd do the jumble together. It was just great. And so sometimes he would come up with one, and then I'd come up with one, and then I'd start writing one, and he'd go, "Oh, did you get this one?" It's just fun doing a puzzle together. All right, baby polar bear is a cub. Arctic hares, big-eared critters in white winter coats. I thought bears at first, and I'm like, what? There's no way that they would put bear in a clue and then also bear as an answer. That's usually kind of taboo to not do, to not put an answer in one of the clues. They don't do that. Material for Frosty's pipe is a corn cob. corncob pipe and a button nose. Not a carrot nose. It's in the phrase, right in the sentence. I'm freezing, and where they put fr like that makes it sound like it's not a word. It's more, one of those sounds that we tend to write out loud, like an onomatopoeia. A poem of high praise. Sometimes they need those 3-letter words, and one is very common is an ode. Now these two are related to each other. You saw when I clicked on this one, the other one went to a related down category. I love, that would never happen in the puzzles in the newspaper, but it certainly happens right here with us. Let's see. So snowman is Frosty example. I don't know if very many other snowmen are named by name, but Frosty certainly is. Pigs digs. That's styes, S-T-Y for singular, but where we've got plural, that's S-T-I-E-S. And then someone who might give bro hugs might be sis. So usually if there's a question mark, that means like the answer's a stretch. But if they're kind of leading us on to say bro, it's likely sis is the other answer. I know that oh, hey bro, that kind of thing nowadays. But they've I love those categories that's kind of a stretch. It's like, what are you trying to say here? Try to make a joke out of it. Noses for many of 10 across, but not Frosty. Snowman might have a carrot nose, but Frosty had a button nose. Caterer's coffee dispenser is an urn. Turns to becomes. Okay. Don't confuse them with antlers. That's their horns. Crush, Sprite, Squirt, and Starry. A variety of sodas in a connections category. From what day? I don't remember that. That was not one today. That's interesting. Maybe it was a day that I missed. I almost missed today. Let me tell you that story. So I woke up today to my alarm from my battery-operated phone, and the power had gone out. Luckily, my phone had fully charged, so it must have happened early this morning. But we got dumped on snow. We got tons and tons of snow this morning, and it's supposed to just snow throughout the day. And apparently, our power went out, but the people across the fence in my backyard do have power, and I think they're on a different grid. Sometimes we'll lose power and they won't, or vice versa. And the high school nearby sometimes will have power and we won't. So it's not localized. We're trying to figure out who has power. I texted my friends and we've got power, and then my next door neighbor texted back and they said, well, we should get power restored by 10:30 or 10 o'clock. And luckily for us, we got power back only about a half hour ago. So here I am live streaming with you. I wanted to get a live stream done today. I'm on a kick of doing these, so I'm glad we got to do this one together. Network that aired the Grammy Awards since 1973, that is CBS. And this one, Ben and Jerry's, 7 down. It's funny, these last couple, because we had answered so many of the across puzzle words, I actually didn't even need to answer these. So that was the first time seeing some of these answers. Ben and Jerry's. And then the GameCube's successor was the Wii. I love the Wii. My Wii is plugged in the other room. I love playing it. All right, very good. I used to do them with my grandma every Saturday and Sunday morning. See, just cool family memories, just awesome family memories. I love it. Very cool. All right, now, I think some of you maybe have seen, some of you have not, but when I do the Wordle, I will not be looking at the chat. You can talk amongst yourselves if you want, but I like to struggle through it myself. So if you're like, well, I think you might want to say this, I'm not even going to look at your answers. So if you do want to just, sometimes people are shouting the answers at me in the comments in the chat, but I won't be looking at it. So if you think you know the answer, or maybe you do know the answer because you've done the puzzle already, Don't share it with me. And if you do share it with me, I'm not going to look at it because I love trying to figure this out myself. My first inclination is to just throw a word out there and kind of deal with the consequences. So if I said like, let's see, I am not clicked into the right thing. There we go. How about trace? That'll give us some letter. Ooh, look at that. It gave us an R, an A, and the E. Interesting. So then if what if I did, so my second, I should be explaining this out loud. My second word is usually a word that does not intersect with that first word, meaning I don't use any of those top letters. So I only look at kind of the blank letters. And then sometimes I'll do that for the fourth one unless I feel pretty confident about the word that I think it is. So if I did like plaid, see, plaid only intersects the A. Maybe I should not do plaid because I already know it's not in that second or the third mark there. What other? How about ploys? That's okay. Oh, look at that. It gave us the L. And nothing's in the right place yet. So with 4 letters down, let's kind of scramble those together and see if there's another letter we can put together, like flare. Let's try that. F, L, A. No, it can't be the A there. But that, do you see what I mean? Like now that I've, dissected 2 of those, but it's not flare. I keep thinking of letters or words that have the letters in the places that it told me there aren't letters. So like if I did there's no S. How about like you know what I mean? Can I put it there? Yeah, I can. Gaver, maver, naver, baver. Let's see what happens there. Okay. Didn't help, but it helped. It helped by not helping. So if the L is not the first or second, then it's not an L word. The A is not there. So what if the A was here? What if it was an A word? What if it's an A word? There's no R or L, so whatever letter we don't know is likely either the first or second letter, I bet. Like, and it's not an ER word either. Okay. So we've got A, E, R, and an L. And it's not an SL word or a FL. You know what I mean? Like, what if it was an answer that, like an R, like something we don't expect, like an AR word. or an RA even. There's no V. I was going to say Kevlar, but that's a 6-letter word. Maybe what we should have done is we should have come up with one more non-intersecting word. Like... Is that a word? None of those letters. Okay, I just threw away a guess. That was stupid of me. I did whittle down some of the consonants, but I just threw away a guess. That was stupid. I was trying to think of one more non-intersecting word, but by doing that, I intersected a word. I intersected, and it already told me that the E was not in the right place. So, it's not like a blank L. Melba? I mean, that is a... Each of those could go there, but we're not using the R. No, no, don't be dumb. Don't do that. And it's not an ER word. Nor does it end in E. We know that already. So what if it had like blank blank? But it can't be blank A. So does it start with an A? It's not as likely to start with an A. I just wish I knew what that 5th letter was. We really should not have guessed dinge at the 4th there. That was a throwaway guess. I mean, it did tell us that there was no N and no G and no D. Or I. There's no ING. But we knew that already with just the placement of these letters. Could be feral. F-E-R-A-L. Let's see. F at the beginning. E is fine there. R is fine there. A is fine there. And L is there. We could try it. Okay. Snot. My kids sometimes say that. It's not. Okay, so let's kind of retrace our steps. R, we already know the E goes there, the A goes there. R cannot go there. R cannot go there, so this has to be R. E. We tried L there, and it's not it. We have not tried it here. Okay, but are there others? Am I throwing away guesses here? Relax. It's got to be relax. Oh, yes. On the last guess. Oh my gosh, on the last guess. I need to relax. We're really good at doing it on the fourth guess. I got something caught in my throat today. I got, it's either I get it on the fourth because I've done my strategy well, or I get it on the sixth, because I'm like at the bitter end. I do fine. I win. I get it every time, but sometimes it's uglier than others. Oh my goodness. The 90s was the best. Simple time. Seriously, the 90s were such a simpler time. I'm a child I'm the child of the 90s, right? I woke up and watched Saturday morning cartoons and it's just all of these things that I'm like, our kids now, kids these days. I always told myself I'd never say kids these days, and I catch myself saying it all the time. And I'm not that old either. Like we would come home when the street lights came on. That was our cue to come home. But I read about a kid that he got taken away from his parents because he was a mile away from his house. I'm like, on my bike we were 10 miles away from, maybe not 10 miles, but we were like 3 miles away from our house. And did mom and dad know where we were? No, we didn't call them on our cell phone. There was no such thing. There was no GPS. It was just, hey, it's getting kind of dark. We should head home. All right, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely simpler time. I agree. So here's my thought process. And should I have done it this way? No, absolutely not. I just came up with a word, came up with trace. And that gave us the R, the A, and the E. And then I tried a non-intersecting word, meaning I come up with a word that doesn't go to that word in any way. And we tried ploys. And then I tried laver, which is like a wash basin, which is not the correct order, nor was it the correct fifth letter. And I'm trying to think of, gosh, what combination of letters here, because I still haven't gotten a green yet. Didn't tell me that any of these were lined up correctly, which is sort of a blessing in disguise. It can tell you, hey, you know what? Here are some that are just straight up missing. And then it will kind of hopefully tell you what order they need to go in at the end. So then I'm trying to think of, what combination of letters should this be? And I tried feral. And then R and A are not in the correct spots, but then relax is. I really threw away a guess here when I said dinge, because sure, it told me that these letters didn't belong there, but also, what? The E at the end? There's already an E at the end that was not in the right place. So, could have done better. Let's move on to the strands. I'm going to click it like this so it looks good. Okay. So the strands, literary couples. Literary couples. I'm thinking like Bonnie and Clyde, or maybe sometimes the theme is a little tricky and it's not exactly what you think it's supposed to be. So let's see if some of these come out. I don't know names super well. I would say that that's probably a less strong suit. It's not my strong suit to come up with names. I'm good with names in person, but not, not something that was written in a book, or even historical names I'm not great with. Let's see. I just see boy. No, it's too short. I like starting in corners, trying to find the corners. I see the word like president, but it's not. It's missing letters. In the corners kind of gives it away. Like if you see an ER, this kind of thing, that might like super duper. You know, literary couples. It's not just couples like names of people. It could be like two words that go together, you know? So like maybe duper was, but it goes with super, you know? And with the strands, this one I like kind of playing together. The Wordle I love doing just by myself, but the strands, if you have some ideas, I would love to hear them. Because this one, like if you know the answer, like you've already done the puzzle, don't say a word. But if you're like, oh, I want to do the puzzle with you, that sounds awesome. I would love to hear your ideas. So don't just give away the answer. But if you're like, you know, wanting to do it with me, then you've come to the right place. I thought I saw the word kettle, like Ma and Pa Kettle. Those are literary couples. But then I can't come back to this L over here. I keep thinking I see words, but they're like too far away from each other. Like Bonnie, Bonnie, Bonnie and Clyde. And there are 7 theme words. I was going to say prudence. I kind of see the word prudence here, but I don't. Oh, maybe there is. Then I can't get over there. Dang. Yeah, I see the word pie. It's a little too short, though. So, and the nice thing about this is not just a word search. The words might go kind of in different places, right? They kind of follow around. Like, oh, here's one. Mork. Remember Mork and Mindy? Is that one of them? It's not one. I thought for sure. Look at this. Mork, like Mork and Mindy. Well, yeah, of course it's not in the word list. It's a proper name. Okay, so maybe that's a, maybe that's a giveaway too. If they aren't proper names, then maybe they aren't couples like I'm thinking of them. How about like sound? Oh, okay. Sound, so literary couples. The Sound and the Fury? Oh. Okay, I bet you. Here, look at this. Fury. Yep. Okay, The Sound and the Fury. What are other titles that have 2 things in the name? Like War and Peace, but War is too short. WAR. You can't do just a 3-letter word. Oh, here, like Pride and Prejudice? Prejudice. There it is. And then pride. I bet you the word pride is somewhere. Pride. Pride. Isn't that great? Like they aren't just straight across words. They snake around each other. So yeah, pride, but it's like moved around. And there's our word pie. You were right. There is a word pie in there, but it's the P from the beginning of the word prejudice. What do you bet? I see it right here. Okay, crime. Oh, I can't spell. Crime and punishment. There we go. And these are book titles. That's the spangram. Nice. Hey, we got it. We got it. Awesome. Here, let's admire our puzzle again. So the first thing I saw, first off, literary couples. I'm thinking, oh no, I don't know people's names. And then it came to me like, these aren't going to be proper names. It doesn't do proper names usually. And so what's it going to be? Maybe it's coupled words. And I saw the word sound. And I said, okay, well, if it's sound, maybe another one together, a literary couple, the title, Sound and the Fury. And then here's Fury. So that kind of alluded to what it was. We didn't even use the hint today. I thought for sure. I looked at this and I was like, I'm going to need the hint. But the sound and the fury. And then I saw over here pride. And then over here, this big long word, prejudice. And then I started kind of seeing the word punishment. So I was like, oh, maybe it's like crime and punishment. And here it is. I saw crime first and then punishment. And then the open letters alluded to book titles. Awesome. That's great. That's so fun. Okay. Hey, we did good on that one. We did really good with the strands. Let's try our last fun puzzle called Letterboxed. There we go. And I realized as I was making that graphic in the bottom left corner, you see that? I thought, oh, how neat. It's making it ended up just the order that I happen to do the puzzles in. I do connections, and then I do mini crossword, and then I do the Wordle, and then I do strands, and then I do letterboxed in that order. And I was like, oh, look at that. It made a rainbow. That was like totally by accident. Every time I happen to do the puzzle in this exact order. And it makes a rainbow. That's so funny. All right. So if you've never played Letterboxd before, what a great game. What an awesome puzzle. I look forward to this one every time. So essentially we are trying to make words by spanning across. It's like a connect the dots of words. And we can't use two letters that are on the same side, one after the other. So like I can do an ED word, but I can't do an MO word, right? And as soon as I say those things out loud, I start thinking of, all these different MO words. First thing, and the other thing is that the last letter of the first word becomes the first letter of the second word. Try saying that 2 times. Dyslexia kicks in hard with this guy. Luckily, it's mostly with numbers, so we'll be all right, hopefully, with letters. So let's just kind of familiarize ourselves with the puzzle, see what we can do, see what we should not do, maybe. So I've got DUKIMONSJABE. So we could do like BAD. No, I can't do BA. Mode, MODE. I like thinking of, first off, some letters that are maybe a little trickier. Like I notice here that I have E and A opposite each other, so it'll be nice to kind of bounce, consonant, vowel, that will be nice. I don't have a C. C is often a connecting letter for K. I have to solve this in 5 words. So far, I have not not done this in 5 words. Sometimes I have to just erase the whole puzzle and think of better words. But I think we'll be okay with this one. Let's see. I can't do OM, like nominate. I can't do that anyway because there's no T. There is an E. Sometimes they omit the E just to go to zing one at you. You know, you have to think of these harder words. It's an S, but there's not an H. There's no L. There's no T. I think the J is probably going to be the hardest letter to complete here. We can't do proper names, so Jason doesn't work here, even though it's right there in front of us. I don't know. Can we? Not a word. Yeah, it's got to be, you know, dictionary words, not proper names. There's no R. Oh, there is a D. There's no C, though. If it was a C, that would have been perfect. If it was a C, jaundice. I mean, we can do jaune, which is the French for yellow, I guess. Not a word. Okay. I was trying to think if it had an E on the end or not. I do not speak French. I speak a French derivative. Well, I don't know if you call it a French derivative. Portuguese. Portuguese is this beautiful blend of lots of different languages. All right, E. Okay, so let's leave that. And we're left with an E word. There's no L. Now I can go back to letters if I need to. You know, if I need to say a J again or an A one more time, I can. Not a word. Okay. Let's remember jaune, like jaundice. If we need to. I think I'm having a hard time starting a word with an E. The J. See, the J is going to be tricky. That's why I wanted to get it out of the way first. There's no G. There's no T. I was going to say like justice, but there's no C either. I also can't double letters, so like jabble or jabber. BB, can't do that. Okay, I think the K is going to be tough, and I think the J is going to be tough. So what if I got those two out of the way first? Jokes. How about that? We'll go simpler. Why go to some other language I don't even speak? Borrowed words. Isn't that neat how, languages will borrow words from each other? I just think that's fascinating. We have so many words borrowed from French and from, Germanic languages. Portuguese is this beautiful mix of lots of different languages. Like, for example, a whisk in English. You're cooking in the morning, you have a whisk. The word for that is fouet, which is the French word fouet for whisk. This is really neat. The big one that came out when I was there, I mean, this was, decades ago, was this crazy new thing that you could write to people back home called email, and they didn't have a word for it, of course, so they borrowed our word email. and the L letter on the end usually gets, kind of turned into like almost a W sound, so it was email. It's funny. All right, so let's see. I need to start a word with an S, and it can't be an SN, and there aren't any SB words. I can do SA. Sauna. That's a word. And then now I start a word with an A, so Ambos means both. Now we're starting back with the DE side. We can just go side, that's fine. All right, we solved within 5. In fact, we did it in only 4. That's great. That's awesome. So we started with the word jokes, Jokes, and then the S led us to trying to get rid. I wanted to get rid of the J and the K first thing. I wanted to use up those letters because those were going to be the tough ones, especially where there was no C. I wanted to get those out of the way first thing. So jokes. And then the S led me to sauna. I was trying to get rid of the U and the N there. And then from the N-A, so A started the next one, I came up with ambos, which means both. Actually, in a lot of different languages, including English, we just don't use it very much. Ambos. And then the S led us to the last couple letters. We only needed to get rid of the I and the D, and that led us to the word side. I feel like if you know more words, then you have more flexibility in these puzzles. You're not just guessing. You're like, well, I could stretch this one, because you know those words in your head already. Sometimes I learn new words, too. It's really neat. I'll learn new things by doing these puzzles. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was a word. All right. We're just going to recap real quick. I want to admire the puzzle for connections. Our connections puzzle today, we got the yellow category first, to crush into a compact shape. You could ball something up or crumple it or scrunch or wad it up. And then the fasteners, these are different fasteners. There's the buckle or the clip or the hook or the snap. That's great. Mark is completed. You might check it off, cross it off, strike it out, or tick the box. Mark is completed. And then I only had 4 words left, and I'm like, gosh, what could these be? Sometimes that fourth category, the purple category, you're just like, okay, tell me then. And that was one of the cases today. This did not immediately come to me. Depicted in Dali's The Persistence of Memory, very famous painting. Google that one. You'll go, oh, yeah, I know that one. There's an ant, a branch, a clock, very famous shape of a clock. Looks like a face almost. That is melting, right? Everything's melting there. Love it. Okay, very cool. Very cool. I am an art teacher, actually. So the This one could have come out to me, but it didn't. I teach photography and video. I actually used to be the drawing teacher as well at the high school. We talk about, cross-hatching and chiaroscuro, and gosh, we talk about perspective, depth lines going back into space toward a vanishing point, all that kind of stuff. It's fun. Okay, and then we looked at the mini. Here's the mini. A baby polar bear. Here, let's start here. A baby polar bear is a cub. And then an Arctic what? An Arctic fox, an Arctic bear, an Arctic... And then after doing a couple others, we came across the word hare. An Arctic hare. Big-eared critters in white winter coats. Material for Frosty's pipe, right? Corncob pipe and a button nose. I'm freezing, and anytime they draw up, the sound of something, they're expecting you to say a sound, right? So FR like that is saying, okay, well, burr, BRR. A poem of high praise is an ode. Frosty as an example. I don't know any other named snowmen, are there? I don't know. Snowmen, or snowman, I guess. It's in singular. And it was also related to noses for many of those snowmen, but not Frosty. He had a button nose. But everyone else has a carrot nose. Look at that. Pig's digs, that would be their sty. I think I got something caught in my throat this morning. Pig's digs is their sty. So STY, but it's plural, so IES. Someone who might give bro a hug. Now there's a question mark at the end, so it's kind of a stretch of an answer, So sis gives bro a hug. We just said this one, right? Noses for many of 10 across, but not Frosty. That's carrots. Caterer's coffee dispenser sounds like an urn. Turns into, becomes, great word. Don't confuse them with antlers, that's horns. Some things have horns, some things have antlers. Some things don't have anything at all like that. Crush, Sprite, Squirt, and Starry in the connections category. I must have missed this puzzle because I don't remember seeing that. Or maybe that's the answer for tomorrow. I don't know. They're giving away answers now. Network that aired the Grammy Awards since 1973. That would be CBS. Ben and Jerry's. Actually, these last ones I didn't even answer. It filled in by doing the across answers. And then the GameCube's successor, one of my favorites, the Wii. Nintendo Wii. All right, and we'll see the Wordle too. So if you haven't done the Wordle, avert your eyes, because we did fairly well, but not in the order that I thought we were going to do it in. Here, let's pull this up. So first off, I started with my strategy. I jokingly say my strategy is to not have a strategy. I just come up with a 5-letter word. And that 5-letter word today was trace. And then it gave me the R, the A, and the E, which is great. But I didn't have the vowels, besides the R, of course. So kind of the connecting vowels that would kind of glue this together. And then I came up with a non-intersecting word. I like trying to think of words that, for the second guess, that don't use any of those first set of letters. Otherwise, you just are sort of throwing answers to the wind, right? And, maybe I should do, another non-intersecting word. Well, guess what? It had an E at the end, and I already knew that there was not an E at the end. So besides getting, knowing that there was not a D, an I, an N, and a G, I really threw that answer away. I was a little frustrated with myself for answering that. And then I'm trying to think of, okay, rubber hits the road. How can we combine these letters and make a word? And I came up with feral, which was not it, but it was very indicative, actually, because the E and the A were in the right place. And then the L, I already knew the L couldn't be at the beginning. I already knew the L couldn't be at the end, right? It just told me that. And so I was like, well, it must be in the middle. And then the R can't be at the end. The R can't be in the middle, so it must be at the beginning. And the only word I could ever think of that starts RELA blank. It's got to be relax. So there it is. Awesome. I had fun doing the puzzles with you guys today. I can't show you the strands. If I go into strands again, it wants to start a new puzzle. But you can look back at that one and see it again if you really enjoyed it. But and letterboxed, we just barely went over. So you guys are awesome. Happy Saturday. Glad you guys are enjoying a good Saturday. Hope it's good for you. It's really good for me too. We're gonna have some friends over later, and we're going to it's good to kind of connect. We've had lots of festivities with family, with close family, and with our extended family, for the holidays, for New Year's. My band has had a couple of gigs. It's been really fun to get together with them and play. And now it's going to be fun today to kind of connect with some friends that we haven't seen in a long, long time. So I invite you, if you have been hesitating to reach out to somebody, reach out to that person today. You might make their day. So it might make your day too. So yeah, you guys are awesome, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.